Nowadays, most men lead lives of noisy desperation. James Thurber. Season 1, Episode 3. Tell It to the Frogs. Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening to Feed Don't Eat Your Brain again. I realized before that I had not introduced myself, so you listened to the first two episodes not knowing who I was. I'm Zachary Ballard. Just so you guys know, my guest today, her name is Mack Smith, and she's laughing at me.
Hello, everyone.
So, introduce yourself, Mack. What would you like to say?
Yeah, hi. I'm Mack. I am a singer, broskies, but I have nothing to show for it.
She's
currently.
a great singer, though. I have an eyewitness account, or ear witness account. Is that what it is? Ear witness account that she's a great singer. I have proof. Our Snapchats.
That's true.
Where I'm lip syncing you singing, but then
God.
it just looks like I'm singing it.
It was
so.
really good.
It's so good. She's so good, okay? So when was the last time you watched The Walking Dead before I asked you to watch this episode?
Oh my gosh, when I was like 16, 17.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think it was probably around the time it came out.
Okay, and how far did you go?
Probably like the first 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay, so you were at the farm. Did you get to the prison yet?
No.
No? Okay, cool. Cool. So this is kind of new for her still, but
Yeah.
she just watched did you watch the first 3 episodes?
Nope.
Or you just watched the third episode? So, but do you kind of know what happened and stuff?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
but you
cool.
really peg me as an overachiever.
No.
No, exactly. No.
Okay. But that's kind of what this is about. That's a good segue into the main thing that I noticed in this episode is sacrificing fun and comfort for safety. And so that kind of, weaves itself in,
That's
not
right.
overachieving.
Uh-huh.
You see a lot of that. And I wanted to talk about the car first. Glenn, he steals that super rad car.
Yes.
And he's just riding it in the
Oh
hills
my
and
God. Idiot.
doesn't think about the repercussions of
I know.
that.
Literally, when he got out of the car, they were like, "What are you thinking?" He's like,
Yeah.
"It's a cool car."
Yeah. And
Didn't
then,
even think about it.
yeah, and I just wonder how long that shift would take for us to realize that wasn't a smart thing to do, because I'm sure he's wanted to do that, as a teenage boy,
For sure. However, in said zombie apocalypse, I feel like, especially towards the beginning of that, your first instinct is to be quiet. At least mine would be, to not attract things that you don't want coming at you.
Yeah.
I.e. zombies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it also depends on the person. Obviously Shane wouldn't have done that, but Glenn did, because I think he's a teenager and, his prefrontal cortex isn't completely developed, isn't completely there,
Yeah. I feel like I would do it and then instantly regret it when I realized that the alarm.
Yeah, and I think he did.
But he kept going. Kept going.
But how was he gonna? But again, was he gonna ditch the car and then try to find another car?
Okay, that's a good point.
Instead of just driving to camp, And he didn't know how. He said he
could have
didn't
at
know
least
how.
ditched it half a mile away.
Yeah,
just to give
I guess so. But I don't think he knows how to. Does he know how to hotwire a car? I don't know. I don't know how to hotwire a car.
I don't know how to hotwire a car.
Mack? Are you sure? I think you do.
Oh,
Careful, Shane and Rick are cops. Okay. Although I do love how there's moments where they go into cop action.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I love it because it's police brutality's a thing.
Yeah.
But also they're just they go into action. When Carl screams, Shane throws the gun and then Rick instantly catches it.
Yeah.
And then when Daryl's fighting them, they just immediately go cop mode on them.
Yeah, it is cool. In an attack mode kind of way. It's cool.
Yeah. Because that's sort of how they're trained.
And we can pretend that in the Walking Dead universe, cops are good guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we can
we'll just pretend that. Yeah. I love cops.
Rick is one of the good ones. I mentioned that in the last episode, he is a good one.
You can see it in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And the reunion between him.
The reunion is so beautiful.
Carl!
I also wanted to talk about when that douchebag, I can't even remember his name. He's so inconsequential.
Idiot.
He puts the freaking log.
Is it Ed?
It's Ed, yeah.
I hate Ed.
He puts the log in the freaking fire, and then Shane's like, take that log out. He's like, it's cold. And he's like, cold don't change the rules. And I was like...
And he's like, yeah, but I'm cold.
Yeah, but I'm cold. But he was willing to sacrifice his safety for comfort,
Well, I would have been willing to sacrifice him instantly. That's all I have to say about freaking Ed.
We end up learning that he's less of a douchebag and more of just an
abusive asshole.
100%.
Yeah.
I wonder, what would you do if you were cold Like, think about times when you've been cold.
See,
and, like, you want to feel warm again.
Yeah.
And that's the only way.
But that's not the only way, you know? If it was truly the only way for warmth, doesn't he have a wife that he could cuddle with?
Yeah,
for
but
warmth?
Apparently he hates his wife because he beats her.
Yeah, clearly. But
Yeah.
myself, personally...
That's true. I guess it's not the only way. I guess it was the only way he saw.
Yeah, well, it was his way, which was disregarding everybody else's safety for his comfort. And I am a team player. I almost said a really bad word. And I didn't
Are
know
you a
if
team
I was
player?
allowed to.
I believe you're a team
100%.
player, but, like, what about in this scenario? Like, would you be a team player in this situation? I'm not doubting you. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think I really would.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because of the way that I am.
Because you can tell it's an Aspen by the way it is.
Because of the way that it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely be tempted to put another log on the fire to, you know, show off my Eagle Scout skills.
Oh my gosh.
You know, to my wife and child, but...
Yeah,
but like...
Really, I mean, if you think about it, isn't it more skillful to create a smaller, more sustained fire?
That's true. Instead of jumping the log on it.
Big log!
Yeah.
Let's burn, baby!
Yeah, he's lucky that the fire didn't freaking go out, honestly. But
Ed is just a poo-poo butthead, okay?
He is.
And he don't know nothing about scouts.
He don't know nothing about scouts. You don't know Ed.
Yeah, Ed! Go back to Cub Scouts.
Yeah, bro. Freak. I want to talk about laziness a little bit. And a little bit. Oh gosh, sorry. My voice cracked. A little bit. I wanted to...
Because I didn't watch the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I knew it.
That's exactly it. I knew you wouldn't.
I
was thinking, I was like, is Matt going to watch the first 2 episodes and then the 3rd episode?
If you would have asked me to, I would have.
I was like, she's probably not going to do it. I had that thought, actually, 100%. But
way to mention it.
I want to talk about laziness and sort of like the social stigma of like what is perceived as lazy. Because it seems like Ed is really lazy, but I kind of want to... Ed is an abusive asshole.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to just cut him an inch of slack. Just a little inch, okay? Just maybe a centimeter.
Okay.
Centimeter, okay?
Okay.
About how easy it would be to be lazy.
Yeah.
In that time, you know, like in that situation. Because, I mean, I suffer with depression. You suffer with depression.
I was just going to say.
And whenever we're not able to be functioning when we're really depressed, a lot of people can see that as just laziness, but it's like, it's literally an illness that we can't control.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to take a shower. It's so hard to go eat. It's so hard to get out of bed. And I honestly feel like I would be super... Like, I was depressed at the start of COVID.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even get out of bed. And, like, if a zombie apocalypse happened, bro, I would be freaking gonzo. You know?
First of all, in my dream zombie apocalypse, I would continue to have my prescription of Lexapro. So, if I couldn't have that, I guess that would be a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, well, also, you don't really have access to antidepressants.
I would hope that my survival mode would just kick in and finally give me that mother-loving dopamine that I've been needing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And, like,
you know?
serotonin.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it is just zombies that you need.
Would people go out of their way to get antidepressants for you versus going out of the way to get insulin or heart medication? No, people would not. I feel like a lot of people, like, we're starting to destigmatize mental illness, but it's still pretty stigmatized today. But then we realize that everyone has some sort of mental illness, so it's good to not stigmatize it and check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
In the brain.
We just fist bumped. Yeah, I feel like laziness would be a real issue, especially with depressed pieces of shit like us. Yeah. You know?
Wow.
I mean, I'm a piece of shit, not necessarily you.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, but I also feel like, I mean, I don't know Ed personally, so I don't know exactly what his issues are, but I think there's a difference between being, like, mentally ill and just being an asshole.
Yeah.
And he might just be an asshole.
I mean,
also
that's true, but I also do think that abusers tend to be mentally ill as well.
Or, like, alcoholics.
Yeah.
Or just, like, addicts in general.
Yeah, because they that's how they get their frustrations out instead of being healthy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, it's not normal for men to be healthy. They need to man up, and then their rage is pent up, and then they beat their wives and kids.
Because isn't that better than therapy?
Isn't that so much better than going to a freaking shrink, right?
It's a lot better.
It's so much better.
Less embarrassing.
So good. So good. Anyway, don't be abusive people.
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy, please. If you're a guy and you have issues, go to therapy.
Or anyone.
If you're a girl and you have issues, go to therapy.
If you're an anyone.
Honestly, bro.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the moment where Shane is catching frogs with Carl.
Oh.
And it's a wholesome moment, but then the women are over there cleaning laundry.
Yeah.
And then they're like, when did women get stuck doing all the work? And they're like, the
oh,
world
where's
ended.
The workload?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then freaking Ed comes over, and then Andrea's like mad that he's just watching over them. He's like, what do you do? Sit on your ass and smoke cigarettes? And I want to know, like, what do you think would happen in this world? Like, would the men go out, chase frogs, supervise, you know, and would the women do a lot of the at-home work?
You know, I was kind of thinking about, like, would I be stuck doing laundry if I were in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, when was this show made?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it was 2008. Let me look it up.
Sounds right. Because I think that just in the time that the show was made and now, there has been huge growth in, you know, feminism and equality in general. Not to say we don't have a long way to go. Okay, 2010. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, in that time, there's been huge progression.
Yeah, for sure.
With how women are seen, and I don't know. I would hope that women would be more involved in the survival aspects, other than just the laundry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, stuff. Like, and Shane's making so much noise. And that's, again, the noise thing is, like, the men don't seem to care about the noise. Well, Shane cared about the noise until he was the one making noise.
Maybe it's just because I watched Quiet Place 2 recently, but I feel like that would be the first thing on my mind. Like, shut up.
Shut the hell up.
Shut up. Okay, like the zombie that was there eating the deer.
Yeah.
Do you think that was drawn in by the car?
I think it probably was. Because they were like, they've never gone far up enough the mountain. But I don't know. It might have been there and it might have been like dormant and then heard the car.
Yeah.
You know, it might have died in the forest after the outbreak and then.
Gosh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ugh.
When is it okay to give up on loved ones? Because, like, Rick didn't give up on finding Lori and Carl, but Lori and Carl were like, he's done. He's gonzo, you know?
They were also told that he was gonzo.
Yeah, and also, I think Shane's assumption that Rick was dead was so legitimate, though.
Yeah.
Like, it was so legitimate.
I don't think he had, like, malintent with that.
No, I don't think so. I think it's weird that he just showed up to Lori and Carl when he had a wife, but that's another story.
That's none of my business.
That's none of my business. Make a spin-off. Yeah, but, like, when is it okay to give up on loved ones? Like, when would you have given up on finding your family if you were Rick?
Oh, gosh. That's another really hard one that super depends on where I'm at with my Lexapro dosage again. Like, and my ADHD medication. Like, if I've got that, I'm looking for days on end for my family. But if I'm unmedicated, who knows? I might just, like, light a bunch of candles and stay in my basement and cry until I die. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
But I don't think there's really a right time to give up on that. I think that just depends on, you know, like, your own motivation to survive.
Mm-hmm. And in our lives, like, when do we let go of our loved ones that have passed on?
Oh.
Or that are close to passing on?
Oh, that's heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what this podcast is all about, baby. Baby.
I think that it's important to never forget those who have passed on. I actually just was reading something today, and, like, this is a common thought, but that you die twice. Once when you leave the earth, and then once when your name is spoken last.
That makes me really sad.
But, you know, it's kind of true. Like, you live on as long as your stories live on, and as long as someone is thinking about you and talking about you, you know. And I think as long as I'm alive, I would like to continue talking about my loved ones who have passed, you know.
Yeah, she did bring the photo albums that Shane's not in, you know. I mean, we don't know that Shane's not in them, but, like, she brought the photo albums, she had the ring. Yeah. You know, so I think it's... I don't think she was letting him go, but I feel like to some extent she was like, okay, I need to have some sort of romantic relationship. I don't know.
Also, maybe it's just easier to assume that your partner is dead rather than struggling to survive somewhere or, you know, starving in an alley somewhere. You never know.
I wanted to mention, like, sex in the
Oh.
apocalyptic world, because like you are so vulnerable when you're having sex. I don't know if I would like, unless I knew I was completely safe. I don't know if I could.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but like, I don't know, because it's so vulnerable, and like you just, I would be so scared that like zombies could come out at any moment, and I'm naked.
That's hella hot, bro. You're like, see like these zombies can walk in on us at any time. I hate your opinion on that.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, but it's also like,
no, it's definitely
it's a definite
risk.
concern. It's a risk.
Here's the thing. Can
Also,
zombies...
with your son in the room too.
That's what I thought you were gonna say, and I'm like, I don't know if I would do that. Can zombies swim in this?
I don't
world?
think these zombies.
Okay, you go to the middle of a lake,
and then you tip over
and
your
then
canoe.
that's like. You don't have a canoe when you're having sex.
What do you have then?
Yourselves in the water.
Oh, okay.
As long as you can, touch the ground.
Yeah.
Zombie-proof sex right there. You're welcome, everybody.
There we go. Sex in the Zombie Apocalypse
Solved.
by Mack Smith. All right. I also wanted to bring up, could you cut off your hand instead of dying?
Oh, God. This is another thing that I'm like, I hope my survival, instincts would kick in. But there's the question, are your instincts stronger to survive or stronger to not cut off your own hand?
Yeah. Because your brain
hard.
literally stops you.
Yeah.
Like you can't bite off your finger because your brain stops you from doing it.
Exactly.
And so it's I've thought about it so much.
I would need so much alcohol.
I would need this is it. Like this is the last moment. This is now or never, I would need that extra. Like, if the zombies broke through the door and were coming at me, I'd be like, now or never.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's basically what happened, too,
Yeah.
Which, I'm sure I would do it because I would have to. But
but then you have a stump and you have to cauterize it or keep it from stopping to bleed.
That belt. I'm sure he has that.
Yeah.
And then...
But, I mean, that's such a dangerous wound to have, too. In this world as well.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to lose blood so quickly.
That's so scary. And then you can't,
And then it's going to be harder for you to survive as well because you don't have another hand.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a really hard question. I don't think you can answer that until you've been in that situation.
I just really don't want to do that.
I think I could have someone else chop off my hand. I think I could, have someone, I'll look away.
Yeah.
I'll bite a piece of wood. I'll bite, a cloth. Just do it, But, I don't...
horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, especially because he used that saw too.
It's not like a freaking. No, he had to saw his arm off.
Maybe with an axe, I could do it myself, or I don't know. Not that saw though.
That's an axe. Freaking that little Walmart freaking toolbox saw maybe I'm not giving Dale enough credit. He probably had a better saw than a Walmart saw, but still just. Oh man. It's rough out there.
It's really
rough out there in the world.
Rough out there on the roof.
Rough out there on the roof. I can't talk today.
Good job, Zach.
I wanted to talk about Daryl seeing the zombie eating the deer, and he was like, "Let's cut around this meat," and that deer could have fed them for weeks. And they took a chance on not having that food for not getting sick from the zombie virus. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're starving, what would you do? Would you risk eating the meat? Later on, we learned that eating that meat once it's cooked doesn't affect you, but they don't know.
At that time, so they did have the squirrels as a backup.
They did have the squirrels, but that's not the same.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's no venison.
No venison.
But
cook us up some venison. Daryl's my favorite character, by the way.
Oh, so you're gay. I don't know why I said that.
Just so you guys know, we're not homophobic here. We were very...
I'm actually... No. I'm
no.
hella queer.
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah. Ooh, what was I gonna say? I think if I was starving, I would take that risk and cut at least just eat part of it. You know?
A leg?
A leg. The butt or something. Other side of the deer. I'd make sure it was real far away from any bitey boys, but
I mean the deer was dead, so it probably didn't travel through the bloodstream.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and
interesting.
You could at least use
They could have eaten that venison, I think.
They could have, and they could have at least used part of the body for tools if they needed to.
Yeah, that's true. Dang.
That was
they were
a
big
mother-loving
babies.
waste. Yeah.
Big dum-dum babies.
Big dum-dum waster babies.
I want to talk about anger. Because anger can be a very prevalent thing in our lives and as well as in their lives. And I wanted to talk about the healthy release of anger, because we see 2 times where 3 people attack other people because they're angry.
Are you counting when
I'm counting
Daryl kicks
when
a zombie? Because that
kinda. I'm counting when Daryl. Yeah, I'm counting when Daryl pulled out his knife and attacked Rick for leaving Merle up on the roof, and I'm counting when Shane beat Ed's ass, which is an incredible moment.
I would have done it.
I would have done it. And I'm counting when Ed slaps Carol.
Bitch.
Yeah. We'll talk about abuse a little bit later, but I wanted to talk about like anger specifically in terms of, because 2 out of 3 I don't condone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so, like,
although you can't blame Daryl for getting mad.
You can't blame Daryl for getting mad, but like pulling out the knife, I was like, that's, bro.
Yeah.
You can like hit him, whatever, but like you're at this point you're trying to kill him.
Right.
You know, this isn't just like letting off steam. You're trying to kill him.
It was very reactionary too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But I just want to, touch on how anger affects us and like what would be ways to not hurt your own group members because you're so angry.
I'm a big fan of therapeutic screaming.
Yeah?
Yeah. I only do it in my car, but I would just simply turn around and scream for a while.
But what about the noise? See, you need to have some way.
So I have one of those, it's called a belt box, and you like put it on your face to do vocal warm-ups without being heard. So in my zombie
Are you going to remember to bring that belt box?
Yeah, and like, gotta mute my screams. She's the first thing coming with me. Maybe they should have like an angry pit digging area, and just to blow off steam, you just go dig and dig. And then later, when people die... You
just called out the next episode.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, a little bit, but go on.
Well, and then later they can use them as graves.
You really just called out the next episode 100%.
Great, okay, so I'm definitely going to start watching this show.
Yeah, start watching it again. It's great. Lori just told Shane, like, yo, stay away from my family.
Yeah.
And Shane, I believe, let out his anger. I don't think he would have gone as far on Ed if Lori didn't just tell him that.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. For sure.
But I'm glad Ed got his ass beat, because he needs to learn.
Yeah. He needs to leave.
Yeah.
He just needs to go.
He just gotta go. Alright, so helping people that wouldn't help us. So they decide to go back to help Merle, but Merle wouldn't lift his pinky to help them. And like Shane's like, dude, you can't go back. You just found your family.
Yeah.
And then Rick's like, I can't leave a guy like on the roof dying of thirst.
I would not be able to live with that. Like if I left somebody up there, I would think about that every single day until I died. Mm-hmm. It would haunt me.
Yeah, I think it would haunt anyone.
Yeah, but like even if they were a piece of shit person who I hated, I think I would have to go back. I'm so nice. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm kind of dealing with the situation too. Well, not like the exact same. I did not leave anyone on the roof, just so you guys know, to die. But so I'm spraying pest control for this guy, and he's stuck in a foreign country, and he can't do his business from the foreign country because he needs other people to spray. And he has no one else except for me, but I'm starting classes next week. And so I feel like garbage because I can't help him get all his clients done in a timely manner. I can only work sometimes. And I can't find anyone else to, like, do it as well. So it's sort of like,
But that's also...
When do you stop, like, letting people, and he's a really nice guy, but it's like, when's that line where you need to not be nice?
Yeah.
I
think when someone's actual life is at hands,
But I mean, he's so dangerous to the group, too.
And he did find a way to make it out.
That's true.
So, like, in the end, it didn't really matter that they went back.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I don't know.
And then Daryl cries because he sees his hand.
I would have kept it. Did he keep it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He definitely kept it. You were just calling out the next episode 100%. I would have kept it. Did you write this?
Yes.
Cool. What are you doing here in Utah then?
Oh, I'm just chilling.
Oh, just chilling? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to talk about Shane in depth a little bit. I think Lori caused Shane to spiral. Do you remember him spiraling in the next few episodes where he just gets more and more crazy and like more and more like
Yeah.
desperate to have Lori.
Yeah.
Like, I think because Lori completely cut him off from the family,
Yeah.
like, and he was like, he's my best friend. Like,
Exactly.
I'm not gonna touch you, but like, he's my best friend.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like Lori was just she cut him off in a place of shame, where like she was horrified and didn't want Rick to know,
Yeah.
you know, and so she's just
Well, she didn't want to bring it up, and I think if they were all adults and like sat Rick down when he came and was like, listen,
I would have told him instantly.
This happened. I'm sorry, we thought you were dead.
Yeah.
You know, if they were adults and actually talked about it, like...
And it's not like he could have been too upset about that if he knew...
I mean, I'm sure Rick would be upset, but like, I don't think he would be like, I'm gonna kill you upset,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I mean, upset, but not so upset that he's gonna lose it.
And that he's just gonna like be super mad. Like, yeah. I don't think Rick would have taken it that harshly, you know? I think Rick would have been like, well, I'm back. She's mine.
Well, surprise mofos. Yeah. I'm alive.
And then you'd be like, Shane... You can't touch my wife, but I'll still be your friend.
No touching,
you know, and you can be my kid's uncle, you know?
Yeah, but Lori's just like...
But I think Lori cutting him off completely caused him to spiral. Because he had no one after that.
Yeah.
He was completely alone, and I feel for him. Because, like, when you're alone, it sucks.
Well, also... Yeah, I know. In this kind of situation... Some rules kind of just don't matter as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I feel like, you know, if I had a spouse who thought I was dead during all of this and then I found out what happened, I'd be like, bro, the whole world is ending. I don't really care.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the last episode, is that like when you're, like, you don't know if you're going to die. Like, you know, it's that instant gratification thing where you want to feel good about something in this awful world, you know, and you don't want to be alone, and you don't want to be, you know, sad.
How else are you supposed to survive without your antidepressants if you're not having sex on the side, right? You need something.
You're right. I did want to mention, when I first watched it, I was like, man, Shane's a douchebag. But then I watched it again, and I'm like, Shane's a really good guy. I mean, like, when he took the log out, and then he checked on Carol and Sophia.
Yeah.
And then after he beat Ed's ass, he was like, if you touch them again, I will kill you. I'll beat you to death, Ed.
No, Shane's
like,
good. He's like a good person.
He's a little abrasive, but he's still a really good person.
He's clearly got his demons, like we all do.
You know, Rick's about to go help Merle, and then Shane is like, I would never do this. Is there some point of him that wants him to go and die?
I was thinking that when Rick left,
like, he was mad, but was he pretending to be mad, or was he like?
I think he just
hoping that he would go and die so that he could have Lori.
I think he contains multitudes, and
I think he's very deep. He's a very deep character.
Yeah, and on one hand, I'm sure he was thinking, "No, stay for the better of you and for everyone." But then when he left, I felt like there was a moment of like, "Oh, good, he's gone." You know.
Like, he's probably gonna die, and I get to have
and
Lori.
And there's probably like a level of, like a layer of alpha going on too.
Like Rick and Shane fight for the alpha all the time.
Yeah, so you could just kind of feel that instant shift of like Shane's like, it's mine now. I got it.
I'm the alpha.
Yeah.
But then Rick comes back again and again and again, and becomes even more of an alpha because Shane's just stays back to protect. You know, Shane's like a shield and Rick's like a sword.
Oh my god.
I'm so smart.
Beautiful.
Wow, I'm so smart.
You should call them and tell them that.
Call The Walking Dead.
Call The Walking Dead.
Call The Walking Dead. Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, is he actually mad, or is he putting up a front of, like... And he's probably so conflicted, because he's like, he's my best friend, I want what's best for him, but also, I love Lori now.
Yeah, and I don't think he was pretending to be mad or anything. I think he was really feeling that in the moment. But then he did still have that.
Like, because he might have had that thought, like, what if he just died? And he was like, and thought about it, but then he kept thinking about it. Like, how often do we hope that other people die?
Actually, it's my ex-boyfriend's birthday today. I thought to myself, happy birthday. I hope you die.
Yeah, well, it's like thoughts like that, where it's like, you know.
But I don't actually hope he dies.
Of course not. Like, I mean... people that cause problems in your life, and especially in a world where, like, people die constantly, I feel like it's so easy to think that, like, my problems would be gone if they were just dead.
My gosh.
And, like, there's some people in my life where I'd be like, some people, like, I'm not wishing they would die, but I'm like, if they were gone from my life, these problems would not exist, right?
Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
this is very dark, but
Mm-hmm.
there is someone in my personal life who has had a close call with death,
Mm-hmm.
and when it didn't happen, I had thoughts that things would be easier if it had happened, you know, and like these problems would have gone away.
I mean, those thoughts pervade in us nowadays.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he just keeps dwelling on it and
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
And the more you think thoughts, the more prevalent they become.
For sure.
And that's what happened. That's how he spiraled.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel bad for Shane, honestly, guys. Now I want to talk about abuse. And like the cycle of abuse, and it's so stupid to be abusive in this world. Like, what are you doing? You know? And I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know me.
Yeah.
I like to be on both sides of the party, so I can kind of be a middleman. But abuse is stupid in this world as well as in the Walking Dead world.
Yeah.
Like, it's especially stupid in an apocalyptic world because it's just, do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
Because you're wasting so much time and energy on nothing, on basically hurting other people for hurting other people's sake, you know?
When there are so many other ways to express that anger and
go hit some walkers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
There's a whole world at your disposal here.
To hit walkers.
Go smash some car windows.
Don't hit your wife. And like, abuse is so just silly to me. I don't understand people that can just hurt people just to hurt people because they feel bad. And like everyone hurts other people unintentionally all the time. Yeah. Like, we say things all the time that hurt people. We do things all the time that hurt people. And that's normal. That's normal life. And you just have to say, if someone brings it up, you just say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like this, or I wish I did this differently.
Yeah.
Let's move on, you know? But abusers and narcissists, they know what they're doing, and they just like can't stop, and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like he obviously abused her before, and he just couldn't stop abusing her.
Mm-hmm. Well, the saddest thing to me was seeing like her apologize to him
for
when
being beat up.
It made me so sad.
It was so heartbreaking because I'm like, none of this is your fault.
Yeah.
Like, he hit you. Shane
awful.
was really pissed beforehand, and he beat his ass.
But
like,
you know that like she's been conditioned into thinking that A, it's her fault, and B, she will be hurt if she doesn't like.
Yeah. If he is hurt, like, she's gonna be hurt. Like, if whatever he's feeling, he has to make sure she feels that.
Yeah.
So that you know, instead of having her, you know, comfort him and help him through his toxic masculinity, he has to hit her. As an abuser, you can have such a more beautiful relationship with whoever you're abusing if you just like let them be and let them comfort you. Like, if you treat someone kindly, they're going to most of the time treat you kindly back.
Yeah.
And if they don't, you know, screw them.
Yeah. Well, and physical abuse is such a different thing from like what you were saying of accidentally hurting people's feelings or like unintentional mental abuse, you know, because you don't know that you're doing it. But physical abuse, you've got the physical evidence right there, you know? There's no way to deny what you did.
Yeah, and he had 5 eyewitnesses there, you know, and she had bruises. Like, one of them said, so she can come back with fresh bruises later. And yeah, it's dumb. Don't be abusive, people. But I want to touch on that because abusive behavior is stupid, people.
And for people who are being abused, it's scary, but there's always a way out.
There's always a way out.
Always. And there are always people who will help. And
we'll help.
Yeah.
We'll tell us if you're being abused, and we'll come save the day.
I've got hella knives.
I've got hella knives. Me too.
Oh, hell.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I wanted to touch on a little bit Merle praying for forgiveness. And then later, like, when he sees a way out, he's like, immediately just like, screw you, silly Christ boy.
Oh,
and like, I just, not to get like over religious, but like, how often do we like not pray? And then once we're like in a life-threatening situation, we're like, this is the only way I have. God, please help, maybe. You
Lord,
know?
please.
I just thought it was funny.
It is funny. Because right before that, too, is he's in like Looneyville in his mind.
Yeah.
You know? He's talking about how he beat some guy up, and he's like, well, I don't regret 1 second of it. And then he snaps right into like, oh, I'm sorry, God.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny.
It is funny.
I thought I'd talk about it a little bit. So Daryl and Merle are brothers, right? And they were raised together. And I don't know if you remember, but the second episode before, Merle says some racist shit to T-Dog.
Oh.
Calls him an N-word and, like, says, it ain't nothing but, like, my kind and your kind ain't supposed to mix. And he just says racist shit to him over and over. T-Dog hits him.
So
he beats
that's
up T-Dog.
I see.
Yeah. And so that's why Rick chained him to the roof.
And why he dropped the key in the drain.
Yeah, why T-Dog accidentally dropped the key in the drain. So, and, like, they were raised together. And then Glenn mentions, he was like, this is going to sound a lot better than coming from white guy than you. Telling Daryl that Merle's gone. But Daryl doesn't say a racist thing. Like, you can tell Daryl's pissed.
Yeah.
But he doesn't act racist at all. And I'm wondering, I don't think Daryl's racist. I think maybe he was raised that way. But I think maybe he made the decision not to be racist.
Yeah.
And maybe the writers just wrote him, like, because he's not in the comics. Maybe the writers just wrote him like that because they wanted him to be a likable character like he is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's interesting that, like, you know, two people grew up in the same situation, and one of them was racist and one of them wasn't.
Yeah.
No, one of them was a bigot, one of them wasn't.
Yeah, that's a good point. It would have taken a lot of self-reflection for him to like, outlearn that.
Yeah, well, it's so hard for racist, sexist, homophobes to unlearn their toxic thinking.
Yeah.
And it just shows that, like, yes, you were raised that way if you are that way, but you can always make a choice to unlearn it.
Yeah.
You know, you can, no matter how hard it is, you can always make a choice to just back away from bigoted mindsets.
And, honestly, it's your responsibility to unlearn it.
Yeah, for sure. Unlearn it.
Unlearn
it. When is it okay to lie? Because we see moments where, you know, or when is it okay to not tell the truth? Because Lori and Shane don't tell Rick that they slept together.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like it would have made things way better in the long run if they just told him.
Totally.
And, like, they were debating on not telling Daryl the truth. And it's like, you know, when do you decide that, like, telling the truth will be more harmful than good?
Yeah. Well, I think that with things like that, where you're dealing with such, like, high stakes of, it's your brother, like, knowing whether he's alive or not, you know, like, you have the right to know that. And so with things like that, I think it's definitely best to be honest with it.
All right. So what do you guys think? Go ahead and comment on the episode or on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll be right back with a short musical break. And we are back
with Zach and
Mack. Oh my gosh, that's too good. We are back with Zach and Mack.
Pew, pew, pew.
Anyway, all right, here's a moral dilemma for you to answer.
Okay.
So, you're at your kid's birthday party.
Okay.
They will be very disappointed if you don't show up or if you leave, but your coworker calls you and says that you need to cover asks you to cover his shift or her shift because his or her wife is having a baby.
Oh,
and you're the only one that can do it.
Oh.
What do you do?
I cover their shift.
You cover their shift for real?
And
what about your kid?
Your
kid's birthday
so
party?
Bad, but I would hope that they would forget it as they grow up.
Interesting.
I mean,
I don't know.
You
I don't
can't
think
leave someone high and dry when they're about to have a baby.
Yeah, I know. I just like.
It also depends on the coworker, though. Like, if they were someone that had helped me out in the past and, like, covered my shifts and
or if
stuff,
they're the one that, like, always asks for shifts off.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. I'm less inclined to help you.
Me too.
But yeah. I mean, stuff like that has happened before where, like, a coworker's having an emergency and I'm, like, literally in a show at the moment. And I'm like,
sorry.
I can't.
You cannot. No. You can't. But if it was just a birthday party.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's like, it's your kid or their kid?
Okay.
And that baby isn't going to remember their dad being there.
Yeah, that's true. But the more realistic scenario for me is that this is a birthday party for my cat. And in that case, they wouldn't even know it was their birthday. And I think it would be okay.
Oh my god. Do you even know your cat's birthdays?
No. But I have guesstimates.
But you would take the shift?
I would take the shift.
Okay. Interesting.
Once again, my kindness is too strong.
Kindness
for my own good.
kills.
You know, it really does.
Really, really does.
I've been nothing but a doormat my whole life.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm getting better, though. Now I'm like a doormat with spikes. You can walk on me, but just a little bit.
I'm more like I'm more like a doormat with, like, maybe, like, a few spikes, you know?
Okay. You're getting a little
They're like big spikes, though.
You're not like a comfy doormat, at least.
No.
Which is good.
Not a doormat that anyone would want to sleep on, you know?
A doormat.
There's some doormats that people would want to sleep on,
That's
and there's
true.
some that people wouldn't.
You should be the kind of doormat that says, "Don't walk on me."
I'm gonna design that. Listen,
signals.
when we start making swag, we're gonna make a doormat that says "Don't walk on me." Don't tread on me, because that's
different.
That's yucky.
Yucky.
Ew, ew, ew.
Pew, pew.
But "Don't walk on me" is a good one. All right. So, what do you guys think? Feel free to comment on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram is Feed Don't Eat Your Brain, and my Twitter is Zachy the Zombie. And feel free to email with any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions at feeddonteatyourbrain@gmail.com. And yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Have a good night, day, whatever you're listening to. Do you have anything else to say?
Bye.
Bye.